So coming into that tabletop position, stacking the shoulders right over the wrists and stacking the hips right over the knees. So the knees will be hip width apart. And first, just come into a neutral spine. Take the tailbone back into the space behind you, and then pull the chest wide and forward. Let the shoulder blades slightly integrate into the back towards the spine, but don't do this. Just a light movement. And then as you take the tailbone back, pull that chest forward, we bring the navel home. So rather than trying to lift the navel up into the spine, we're not trying to do that. Tailbone back, heart forward, just inviting that navel to come home. Back of the neck long. Take the occipital ridge away from the cervical spine, the neck spine, and point the nose down. So starting position. And then on your next inhale, take the tailbone to the sky first. So don't let the head come into it yet. Pull that heart forward, let the ribs drop towards the mat. Keep that low belly slightly lifting towards the ribs. Pull that armpit chest area forward. And then last of all, without losing any space in the back of the neck, lift the chin, lift the nose, lift the gaze. Keep looking forward. And on the exhale, curl that tailbone under. Lift the back of the heart to the sky. Spread those collarbones away, those shoulder blades away from each other. The collarbone might lose a little bit of space here, but try to keep pressing through the outer arm so you keep space in the chest. And then bring the chin towards the chest and drop the crown of the head towards the mat. Hug those outer ankles in. I noticed my feet as I'm gazing back there and saw that they decided to be lazy. And just keep lifting that front body into the back body and gaze back at whatever you can see back there. Keep looking back. Inhale, take the tailbone to the sky. Open up that front body. Pull that heart forward. Last of all, lifting the face. Try to keep some spaciousness in the back of the neck. Pull that armpit chest area forward. And exhale, tailbone goes under, reaches down towards the earth. Lift the front body into the back body. So we're rounding the spine, something we rarely do in the yoga practice. Crown of the head to the mat. But we're doing it with a really strong core. The whole core is working here. You should feel your side body engaged. Rectus abdominis really lifting up towards those ribs. And then inhale, tailbone first. Moving vertebra by vertebra. Really slowly feeling everything that's happening here. And notice as you pull the heart forward, that tailbone wants to stop reaching to the sky. So see if you can do both at the same time. Walk and chew gum. And then exhale, keep looking forward. Tailbone is driving here, not the head. So right away in the warm-up, we're switching out of our daily practice of having the head control everything and kind of forgetting about everything that's from the neck down. So we're coming really into that place that is below the neck and having the head just take a chill pill. So bottom of that exhale, just come back to that neutral spine. Inhaling, exhaling here. Taking the tailbone back into the space behind you, pulling the heart forward. And then inhale, take that right leg back behind you, float it up, turn the pinky toe down, inner right thigh up, and exhale, take it over to the left. Hug this outer left hip in. Don't let everything go to the left. Pull everything else into center. Inhale back, exhale over, inhale, float it up, reach back through that inner right heel, exhale, tap it down, and then this time gently turning the cervical spine. So we do warm up the neck as well. You might not notice it, but it is part of the practice. And then pull that left and right armpit chest area forward. Inhale, right leg back behind you. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, left leg floats up. Spin that inner left thigh up to the sky, pinky toe down, reach back through that left heel. Exhale, tap it over to the right, any amount. Keep the rest of the body totally still. Keep pulling that heart forward. Inhale, float it up, reach it back. Exhale, drop it down. Tap the mat, the rug, the floor, whatever's beneath you. One more, inhale. Engage that left glute. Exhale, reach through the sole of that left foot. Gently turn the cervical spine to the right and look back. Maybe you can see the left toes, maybe you can't, doesn't matter. Keep the rest of the body still. Keep pulling the chest forward, reaching that tailbone back. And then exhale, come back to that starting position. So keep re-establishing the long tailbone, the wide chest pulling forward, creating that space in both the front and the back body here. And then take your knees a little wider than hip width apart. Press down through the shins, the front of the feet. Make sure the ankles are engaged, the whole body working here. Inhale, reach that right arm up to the sky. Left ribs down, right ribs up. So this is a twist here. And then exhale, reach it through to the other side. So the right hand dives under that left armpit. And we'll do two more. Inhale, open to the right. Exhale, rotate to the left. Inhale, open, reach. On this exhale, don't go too far. Drop the right shoulder down in space. And come onto the right side of your skull. Press the back of the right arm down. Inhale, reach that left arm up to the sky. Or maybe you need to just press that left palm down. Left palm down. And lift that left armpit chest area up. This could be it. Or like I said, inhale, reach up. You could just stay here. Exhale. If you want, you can reach that left hand anywhere towards that low back, or maybe even reach around inside that right hip crease and hold on to the front of the right thigh. Just make sure you don't drop the pelvis around here. Keep it stable and steady, even between right and left. So the twist is happening through the waist. Open that left armpit chest area, whatever variation you've chosen. If you came all the way around, left hand to right thigh, release it from the back. You can reach it back up in the sky. Exhale, plant it down. Inhale to come up and out. And other side. First, reestablish long tailbone, wide chest pulling forward, inviting the navel home. And inhale, open, reach. And try not to dump into that right wrist. Lift up and out of it. Exhale. Oh, that feels so good in those low back ribs. Inhale, open, exhale. And again, try not to move the hips too much here. Let this action come from the waist, through the ribs. And then this time we'll stay for a bit. Drop that shoulder down. So the tendency here can be to try to go over as far as you can. But that's going to bring you all whack-a-mole and out of alignment in terms of the spine. So just drop that left shoulder down, plant the right hand, press into it, press into the back of the left arm. Again, try to keep the hips stable. You're turning at the waist and then rotating through the rib cage. If you like, right arm reaches up to the sky. And if you like, reach towards that low back, maybe all the way around into that left thigh. Open up the right side of the chest. Pull the elbow away from the shoulder on that right arm. And as you're ready, releasing that, maybe coming back through that outstretched arm. Maybe that's where you were the whole time. Maybe you were here the whole time, right hand pressing down. And then we'll press down with an exhale and inhale, return to the starting position. And on the exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, feel the strength of the arms. Make sure the fingers are spread wide. The thumbs are not pulling into center as much as they could, but the fingers are spreading as wide as they can. And then press back. Keep the knees as bent as you can, the hip creases as deep as you can. And then slowly start by lifting the hip creases up. So keep moving back and up and back and up. And then last of all, open the backs of the knees, drop the heels, tuck those low ribs in, take the tailbone back, let the upper spine melt in towards the chest, lift up out of the wrists, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take the thighs back, engage the quadriceps to lift the kneecaps up, spin those inner thighs back, hug the outer ankle in, lift up through the inner ankle. Really open those armpits. As you're ready, walking the feet up towards the hands. Inhale, float up halfway, pull that heart forward, lengthen through the side waist, try to have a long spine, flat back. Exhale, fold in. So on your forward fold, Uttanasana, you want the hands to be touching something. If they can't touch the mat, grab your blocks. You could bring the blocks to the highest height or whatever height works for you. And lift up out of the wrists, wherever the hands are, blocks or mat, or maybe you need to eat something even higher, a chair, your thighs. But use the hands to pull the heart forward. Although if you're coming all the way in and down, it's more about pulling the heart towards the earth. But keep lifting the tailbone up. And again, we're hugging the outer ankle in, lifting the inner ankle up, engaging the quadriceps, lifting the kneecaps up, spinning the inner thighs back, right sit bone to the right, left sit bone to the left, armpits open, armpit chest area spacious. And then on an inhale, bring that heart forward, reach those arms out, and come up, reaching to the sky. Palms come together, exhale. Pull the hands down to the center of the chest. Bottom of the exhale, release the arms down, reach down through the fingers without moving the shoulders back, so don't do this. Keep the shoulders where they are and lightly move the arms back. And again, similar principles here. Spin the inner thighs back, press the thighs back in general, and press the glutes forward, bring that tailbone long towards the earth and deeper into the body. Outer ankle in. Big toe mounds really press down here, but keep the toes light and wide. Don't do this with your toes. Use your big muscles in your legs. Lift up through the low belly. Tuck those low ribs in. Lift and spread your chest. Try to pull that upper spine in towards the chest. Collarbones wide. And we'll move into the sun salutations here. Inhale, open, and circle up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Arms reach out, heart pulls forward, long through the side waist. Coming back to that forward fold. Inhale, float up halfway, find a flat back. Maybe you already were halfway up. That is your forward fold. That's fine. You can exhale and then inhale here. And then on your next exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to. Plant the hands and step that right foot back. Sit into this left sit bone. Hug the outer hips in. Lift the right thigh up. Move forward through the left knee, but make sure the left knee is not coming out ahead of the ankle. You want to stack the knee on the ankle to keep that knee safe. Lift that right thigh up and reach it back through that right heel. Try to have the heart a little higher than the hips. So if you need the blocks to get there, then use them. But as you're ready, plant the hands, step that left foot back, downward facing dog again. And mostly here, just think about, can I hug that front body into the back body? Can I lengthen the back of the legs and open the upper back, mid back, low back? Inhale, come forward to the plank, shifting your feet as much as you need to here so that the shoulders are right over the wrists. Tailbone and heels go back, belly, chest moves forward. Notice the other actions that need to happen in order to achieve that. And make sure you're one long line of energy here. Crown of the head moving forward, heels moving back. Exhale. Bring the knees down. This is a little challenging, but once you learn it, it really is the easiest way to come down. And the elbows slide back, hug them in, chin and chest to the floor. This is called 8-pointed pose. Then inhale, slide that heart forward, lower the pelvis, reach the toes back, tailbone reaches back, and elbows still hug in, Bhujangasana, cobra. So you could have a little cobra here, that's fine. Hug the outer ankle in, tailbone and toes reach back, heart reaches forward. Gently pull the heels of the hands back, keep the shoulders out of the ears, but you can also come up higher if that's available. Exhale, tabletop position into downward facing dog. I want to step that left foot in a little bit if you need to. Inhale, reach that right leg back behind you, right glute engages, inner right thigh to the sky. Try to keep the shoulders even. Take that left hip crease up and back any amount more. Exhale, bend that right knee. Pull it forward. This is hanging plank. Left heel reaches back. Right knee reaches forward. Press the mat away. You're trying to create space here to plant your left foot. If that didn't work out, consider coming down to your knees, kneeling, and just stepping the right foot forward. That is perfectly acceptable. Again, use the blocks if you need them, especially if this is happening. The hips are up here, the heart's down here. You can drop the hips more and come up with the blocks. Sit into that right sit bone, stand into that right foot, make sure the right knee is right over the right ankle. Lift that left thigh, reach back through that left heel, lift up through the low belly, lift the heart. On an exhale, I'm going to move back a little bit to come into the right leg and step the left foot up next to the right. Inhale, lengthen through the side waist, pull that heart forward. Exhale, fold in any amount. Inhale, rise up. Let the heart lead. Arms circle up to the sky. And exhale, bring it down to the center of the chest. And bottom of the exhale, release those arms down. Fingers point down, reach down evenly through the thumb and the pinky finger, and bring the thumbs together, bring the fingers together, and the thumbs also bring them in. So the hand becomes one. Press the thighs back, glutes forward, lift up through the low belly. So that's your sun salutation, first side. Now we'll do the second side. Inhale, circle up, exhale, swan dive. Try to maintain that long spine, flat back. Holding in any amount. Use the blocks if you need them. Inhale, float up halfway, find a flat back. And of course, it could be that this was your exhale and now you're just inhaling here. And then on your next inhale, you'll send that, sorry, that was an inhale. So this is an exhale. Lift, send that left leg back, right knee bends. You can also put the knee down. I didn't say that on the first side, but you can put the knee down. That helps. And even then, you may find that you want the blocks. So find the lunge that works for you, knee up or down. Sit into that right sit bone. Lift that left thigh. Reach back through that left heel. Stand into that right foot. Make sure the knee is stacking over the ankle in every direction, so it's not way out ahead, not behind, not to the right, not to the left. It's right on top. That really protects your knee and your ankle. And then on your next exhale, plant the hands, step that right foot back, press those thighs back, lift those hip creases up, drop the heels down, tuck the low ribs in. Inhale, come forward to plank. Reach back through the heels, the tailbone. Lift through the low belly, move that chest forward, and exhale. We're coming into 8-pointed pose here. Knees down, chin and chest, elbows hug in. Inhale, cobra, untuck the toes, reach back through the tailbone and the toes. Be grounded through the pelvis, drop that down. Try to lift and lengthen through the navel. Shoulders out of the ears, elbows hugging in. Exhale, tabletop into downward facing dog. Step that right foot in a bit if you need to. Inhale, lift that left leg behind you. And remember, if this doesn't work for you, you can kneel and then step that left foot forward. But if you can do this, try to keep the hips even though the legs are going in opposite directions. So lift the leg, left leg, not the left hip. Bend the knee, exhale, pull it forward, press the mat away, lift up, plant that left foot. Inhale in your variation of the lunge, using blocks, knee down or up, sit into that left sit bone, and lift through that right thigh. Lift and spread the chest, and on an exhale, move back a little to step that right foot forward. Inhale, float up halfway, find that flat back, long through the back of the neck, and exhale, hold in. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, palms to the center of the chest. Bottom of the exhale, arms down. And from here, step that left foot back. Coming into warrior one. Begin by squaring off the hips with the front of the mat. Engage that left glute. Pull that right hip crease back, left hip forward, and spin that inner left thigh back. That will help you to move that left hip forward and reach into that left heel. Inhale, arms up alongside your ears. Lift up through the low belly. Drop the tailbone down. And next exhale, right knee slides forward. But try to stay in that back leg. Lean back. Reach up. Reach up evenly through the pinky finger and the thumb. Lift your heart. And yes, the shoulders will lift up a little bit, but try to keep them from coming up into the ears. On an exhale, come into pyramid pose. Feel free to use blocks here. I'll demonstrate with blocks. And be in that back leg. So keep spinning that inner left side back. rolling that outer left hip in. Take that outer right hip back, but in a way you hug both hips in. Reach down through the feet. So in the right foot, reach into that right big toe mound. Left foot, reach into the heel, outer edge of the left foot. Then lift through the low belly, pull that heart forward, lengthen through the side waist. And so you may be here at the highest height, or maybe even on a chair. Or you may find the hands easily reach the mat, but don't sacrifice the stability of the legs for the mobility of the upper body. Keep that right shin moving a little forward, pressing into the right big toe mound will work together with that. But then iron that right thigh onto the bone, left thigh too, and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling here. And then you can use a block if you need to under your left hand, moving into revolved triangle. Taking the right hand to the right hip, lift up out of that left wrist and spin. Scissor the thighs together, reach into the feet, take the navel to the right. If it's available, reach that right arm up into the air, pull the armpit chest area forward, and reach the tailbone back. Be in that left heel. Exhale, right arm comes down. Inhale, come into that lunge. And exhale, be in the right leg as the left foot steps up to join the right. Inhale, pull that heart forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, pull it down to the center of the chest. Bottom of the exhale, release those arms down, reach down through the fingers. And then step that right foot back for the other side. Again, squaring off the hips, engaging that right glute, spinning that inner right thigh back, reach into the right heel, outer edge of the right foot, tailbone drops down, low belly lifts, and inhale, arms up alongside the ears, reaching evenly through the thumb and the pinky finger on each hand, and then try to stay in the back leg as you let that left knee slide forward. Sit into that left sit bone and breathe. And then as you're ready, exhale. You can come forward to a chair, the blocks at any height, or the mat. Press into the left big toe mound. Spin that inner right thigh back. And try to have the longest spine, the flattest back that you can muster. Once you stabilize through the legs, then think about where can you move in the upper body. Lengthening through the side waist, especially the right side waist. There's a little compaction here because this leg is moving forward, but you can really open on the right side because the right leg is back. Lift up through the low belly. And keep bringing that armpit chest area forward. So never swallow up the front body in your effort to get into a forward fold. And lift this left shin a little forward, but press or pull the left thigh muscle to the thigh bone. And I know I said earlier, don't get into a push and pull with yourself. But sometimes there's a little pressing that goes on, just a light, easy pressing. And then again, you can use a block if you want to. And you don't have to take the arm into the air. You could just take the hand onto the hip and do a little spin. Parivriti Trikonasana, revolved triangle. But stay in that back leg. Scissor the thighs towards each other. So we're really growing the legs here as we reach into the feet, but move the thighs together. And then if you want, you can come to a deeper Twist, right ribs down, left ribs up, moving the navel to the left, and maybe bring that arm into it. Stay open through that armpit chest area. Pull that right armpit chest area forward, hug the outer hips in, and spin. And exhale, release that left arm down. Inhale, come to your lunge. Exhale, stand into the left foot, right leg floats behind, and then steps next to the left. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold, wide across the shoulders, upper spine moving in towards the chest, and maintaining that to whatever degree you can, and folding in to whatever degree you can. Lift those hip creases up, engage the quadriceps to lift the kneecaps up, and inhale, rise up, circle the arms to the sky. Exhale, pull it down to the center of the chest. And from here, you can turn towards the long edge of your mat. Take a wide step, as wide as you comfortably can. And hands on the hips, press the thighs back, glutes forward, tailbone long, low belly lifting, wrapping to the outer edges of the feet. And as you're ready, turn the right leg out to turn the right foot out. And here you're on a tightrope. So line up the right heel with the arch of the back foot. Bump that back heel back just a bit. And then press that right hip forward, left hip back. So squaring off the chest and the hips with the long edge of the mat. Arms float up to shoulder height and really reach, palms face down from the center of the chest out through the fingertips. And then take a little peek at your knee just to make sure that it's staying in line with that second toe, maybe even the middle toe. You want to be able to see the big toe. And lift from pubis to sternum. Reach out of the chest. Stay in the back leg. And you want your side waist to be perpendicular here to the floor. So don't be leaning forward, but don't go overboard and lean back either. Find your balance. Gaze out over your right fingers. Check your back arm. Make sure it's not drooping. And breathe. Try to really sit into that right sit bone. And then straighten that front leg and reach out over that leg. Feel free to reach for a block and put the block behind you, because the tendency here is to turn this into a forward fold by dropping out ahead of the leg. You want to stay in line with the leg and open the heart. Right ribs drop down. And as you move this left hip back, as far as the skeleton goes, you hug the muscle in. So 2 actions there. And then windmill the arms, left arm up, right arm down. Take the block to a place where you can externally rotate the arm and pull that armpit chest area forward. The right armpit chest area goes forward, left armpit chest area goes up to the sky. Be in the back leg. Scoop that right buttock forward and lengthen through the right side waist. But don't pull the shoulder towards the ear. See if it's more about, can I pull this armpit chest area kind of forward, but also back a little, so there's a spiraling action there. Press into that right big toe mound. Triangle pose. Inhale to come up and out. Exhale, grab the block, and move the legs. Again, the feet will move, but make sure you're not just moving the feet. You're actually moving the head of the femur bone in the pelvis. Be in that back leg, right hip back, left hip forward. Really externally rotating this left leg. And inhale, arms float up. And exhale, take a peek. Make sure that knee is aiming out over the second or middle toe, and you can see the big toe on the inside of your knee. Be in that back leg, reach through that back arm, but gaze out over the left fingers. Palms face down, shoulders relax, lift from pubis to sternum. It's a little bit of a back bend here. Sit into that left sit bone. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, reach out over that front leg. Find the right height for your block. You could also use a chair here. And windmill the arm. So left arm reaches down, right arm reaches up. Scoop that left buttock under and forward, but stay in that left big toe mound and be in that right heel, outer edge of the right foot, and spin the left arm so that it is externally rotated. Right arm is neutral. And pull that left armpit chest area forward. Take the right armpit chest area to the sky. Lengthen through that left side body. And then inhale, you can bend the knee, use your core strength. And come up and out. Exhale, release. And then step the feet together. And that is the standing practice. Warrior 1, pyramid, revolve triangle, warrior 2, and triangle. And now you're ready for back bends. So for back bends, start at the top of your mat, mountain pose, thighs back, glutes forward, tailbone long, lift up through the low belly, lift up through the chest, pull that upper spine in towards the chest. So these are the actions for both back bends and forward folds. So mountain pose really preparing us. And then take the hands onto the chest and lift the chest up into the hands. Try not to let the shoulders get involved here too much. The shoulder blades go down the back and then they sort of scoop forward. Keep lifting up through the low belly. And the tendency here can be to kind of pop the hips forward or pop the ribs forward. See if you keep pressing the thighs back and keep those low ribs tucking in. Back bends are really just about lifting and spreading the chest. Yes, other things can happen too, but the main thing is to lift and spread those collarbones. And then start to reach the arms up alongside the ears. If you need to have a wider arm posture, that's fine. I would like the arms to be in line with the ears though, and this will also help you be able to keep the low ribs tucking in. And again, lift the chest. Press down through the feet to lift the heart and reach the fingers to the sky. Try to reach evenly through the pinky finger and thumb. And then exhale, come into a forward fold, and step back to downward facing dog. And find as much of a back bend as you can here in your down dog. Really let that chest melt towards the mat. Bring the upper spine in towards the chest. But lift the low ribs in. Let the back ribs be open. And take the navel home by taking the tailbone up and back. Legs are strong. From here, you can come down onto your knees and come to kneeling for the first back bend, camel. So taking the hands onto the hips, it could be this simple. Press those hips forward, drop the buttocks down, lift up out of the pelvis to keep those low ribs tucking in and spread that chest. Lift that heart. If it's available, you can take the hands onto the low back, fingers lightly pressing the buttocks flush down, also helping to assist in keeping those hips Moving forward, keep the hips in line with the knees. There is another posture where we drop back more, but in camel, we keep the hips pressing forward. And then from the waist up through the chest, you may find you can lean back farther. And you might be able to come to blocks by the ankles. This can really help you to lift the chest, keep those hips pressing forward, buttocks flush down. And you might also find that you can tuck the toes under and reach the heels. Again, hips forward, chest lifting. Low back is free. If the low back is crunching, you need to back off. And you might be able to press the front of the feet down and come to the heels. As long as you can keep the hips pressing forward, the heart lifting up, low back easy, buttocks flush down. Notice I'm not just collapsing the head. I want some space in the back of the neck, even as I gaze upwards. Lift up through the low belly. Then inhale to come up and out. And then the next posture is probably one of the most accessible back bends. Coming down onto the mat for bridge pose. Scooping the buttocks towards the heels, possibly walking the heels up towards the buttocks. Walk the shoulders out of the ears, shoulder blades down the back, fingers reach towards the heels. Thighs and knees are apart. They're in line with the hips. The feet could be just slightly wider than the hips, heels out, toes in. Pigeon-toed. Press those arms down, lift the hips up. And once you're here, you can walk the shoulder blades in and under even more. Feel that your knees are stacking right over those ankles. And open those hip flexors. Activate the inner line of the leg, inner thigh, and a little bit activate the glutes as well. But don't crunch the low back. Let that be spacious and easy. And try to bring as you keep the knees moving away from you, try to bring that chest towards you. The more you can press the arms down, the better. The face does not help you in this posture. Keep the neck and the head completely relaxed. If it's available and you can keep the arms straight and in contact with the mat, you can interlace the fingers. Make sure that you don't forget about the feet here. Press down into the big toe mound to lift up. Press down through the arms and the shoulders to lift up. And breathe. Stay here as long as you like. And then if you did clasp the hands, unclasp. Walk the shoulders out. Shoulder blades out, and shoulders a little bit too, and then try to come down vertebra by vertebra. Slowly coming down. Sacrum and tailbone coming down last. So oftentimes with the back bends, people really want to go immediately into some kind of forward fold. So for example, it's very tempting here to pull the knees in and hug them in. Don't do it. If you need to release from the low back, first of all, that may mean that you were overdoing. But anyway, if that did happen, think about just scooping the buttocks under, lengthening the tailbone, bringing the thighs and knees together, and coming into constructive rest. And then from here, you can roll over onto your right side and gently press your way up. But if you're able to rock and roll up, do rock and roll for as long as you can. Rock and roll until you can't rock and roll anymore. Move into your tabletop position and then tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, find a plank. Plank is a great pose for understanding the back bends because the tailbone is long, the thighs are lifting, the heart is coming forward, the shoulder blades are moving lightly in towards the spine, arms are strong. And then 8-pointed pose, knees down, elbows slide back, chin, chest. Inhale, Bhujangasana. So here's again one of our back bends. Lift up and out. So come forward and up out of that low back. Buttocks are pretty relaxed, maybe a little engagement there. Reach back through the toes, the tailbone. Lift through the chest, lift through the navel, hug those elbows in. And then you can also come into up dog by straightening the arms out, lifting the armpit chest area up and forward, maybe coming up onto the tops of the feet and lifting the knees. Again, relax the pelvis, let it hang, let the spine come deep into the body here, and lift up out of that low back. So even on a back bend, staying spacious through the low back, lift and lengthen through the navel, up dog, up dog. And then from here, sliding back, another back bend here, Sphinx, just to prepare for the final back bend. Lift and spread that chest by planting down through the forearms and lightly pulling the elbows back. Hug the outer ankles in. And then you can bend the right knee, the left knee, sweep the right hand back for the right foot, sweep the left hand back for the left foot, press the hands into the feet, but more the feet into the hands. And then, if you like, you can start to let the knees come up off the mat. But really press the feet into the hands and breathe. Bow pose and exhale, release. And you can bring one hand on top of the other as a pillow for your forehead. And just shake your hips. Rock and roll your hips side to side. And don't go into the forward folds until we do the twist. So for the twist, come to seated. And be in Dandasana. So pull the toes towards you, reach from the inner groin out through the inner heel, spin those inner thighs down, press the palms down, lift up through the armpit chest area, lengthen through the back of the neck, lift up through the low belly. And then take the fingers behind the right knee, pull the knee in. Feel free to sit on a blanket here if that will help to support you. Don't have this right foot right next to the leg. There's a little space in between unless you have really narrow hips, which you might. And you don't need to bring this right heel too close into the knee. You want to be able to really sit up straight here, lifting up from the low back, the mid back, upper spine. And make sure that the right knee doesn't try to go out to the right. Take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Sweep the right fingers behind you and tent them there. And again, try to really lift up. Keep that heart lifted and turn. Keep the legs strong. Stand into the right foot. Spin the navel to the right. Keep lifting up through the armpit chest area. And then lightly pull those elbows away from each other. Notice what that does for the posture. And you can look as far off to the right as you would like. Just make sure you still have awareness in that left leg. And exhale, release. Inhale, Dandasana, pose of the staff. Exhale, prepare to twist. Right palm to the outside of the left knee, right toes to the sky. Stand into that left foot, press that right leg down, sweep the left hand behind you, tent the fingers. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. And inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Then you can continue those micro movements. Again, you can look way off to the left, but keep your awareness in that right leg. Each inhale, you lift and lengthen. Reach up through the crown of the head. Each exhale, press down through the left foot, right leg. Lift up through the low belly. And then you can take those elbows apart. Keep that armpit chest area spacious. And on an exhale, release. And from here, we'll come into some forward folds. I'll angle myself a little bit more here towards the camera. So pull that right knee in and then let it drop out. And again, feel free to sit on blankets here. That can really help. Press the sole of the right foot into that inner left thigh. Inner left thigh spins down, toes to the sky. Inhale, right arm up alongside the ear. Exhale, turn. Inhale, lift and spread that chest. Exhale, keep the chest pointing towards those toes. So the right ribs come a little forward, the left ribs a little back. But you come a little bit out of the twist. And then just reach the arms for wherever they can reach. And you can still have a spacious collarbone. Stay long through the side waist, pretty flat through the back. Let the chin soften in towards the throat. So again, you could have a strap here. You can hold on to your calf, your thigh, or if you can reach the foot, just make sure the elbows stay a little buoyant here. Heart keeps coming forward. Press into that right leg. The more you press that right leg down and back, the more you can come around and forward. And at some point, you may find you're able to clasp the left wrist with the right hand and come all the way down. So if you come all the way down, likely the back is going to round a little bit. Inhale to come up and out. And exhale, straighten out that right leg. Inhale, Dandasana. Exhale, left knee comes up towards you and then out. Press the sole of the left foot into the right inner thigh. Inner thigh spins down, toes to the sky. And take a slight twist here. Bringing the right ribs back, left ribs forward. Left arm up alongside the ear. And exhale, little twist. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh. And then you come forward to your degree using a strap. Maybe just hands on the floor, hands on the calf, the ankle, the foot. Whatever you decide to do, have the feeling that the heart is lifting and that the arms are encouraging the heart to come forward. Reach through that inner right heel. Spin that inner right knee down towards the floor, just isometrically. Toes always stay to the sky. And press that left leg down and back. Outer left hip down and back. The more you do that, the more you have this leverage to come forward and maybe down. Every exhale, lift up through the low belly. Inhale. You release that a little, but not completely. And then maybe at some point, left hand can clasp the right wrist. And again, once you're coming all the way forward and down, there will be a little bit of rounding through the spine, but try to keep lifting the armpit chest area forward. And then release the hands. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, Dandasana. Inhale here. And exhale, come into Upavista Konasana. So legs as wide as you comfortably can while still sitting up straight. Reach from the inner groin to the inner heel. This could be your posture. There's a lot going on right here. Press those thighs down, press the center heel down, lift up through the low belly. In fact, lift from pubis to sternum and lightly bring that upper spine in towards the chest. Widen across those collarbones. And then if you want to try to come forward, do it a little at a time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, don't swallow up the front body. Inhale, again, lift up out of the pelvis. Exhale. So just coming forward like that. And only coming down insofar as you can keep the back from rounding, the shoulders wide, the external rotation of the thighs. If this starts to happen, back off. Really important to keep that stability through the low body as we explore what is available in terms of mobility in the upper body. Lifting up through the low belly on both the inhale and even more on the exhale. Soften the chin in towards the throat. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Inhale to come up and out. And exhale. Come back to Dandasana. So just like mountain is really the pose that holds everything for us in the standing postures, Dandasana holds everything for us in the seated postures. The strength of the legs, the groundedness of the legs and the feet, the stability across the pelvis, but then that lift, that spaciousness in the upper body. Inhale, arms up alongside the ears. And exhale, bring the heart forward, not down, but forward. And keep the arms alongside the ears. And as far as you can go, that is your honest range of motion for seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. And then wherever the hands land from there, that allow you to keep this armpit chest area lifted and spacious. And again, if you come all the way down, the back will round slightly, but try to keep pulling the heart forward and stay spacious. And breathe. And when you feel complete, go for closure and release. Inhale to come up and out. And from here, we'll move into Shavasana, final relaxation. So lie down on the mat. Scoop those buttocks under. Lengthen the tailbone. Then stretch the legs out. They should be in a long V shape. Feet wider than the hips. Toes flipping out. Scoop the shoulder blades under. Externally rotate the arms. Palms to the sky. Feel free to drape your legs over a bolster. Do whatever you need to do to be comfortable here, but do try to keep the tailbone in alignment with the back of the skull. So if you need something under your head, just make sure you're not lifting yourself up out of alignment here. But if this is happening, then you do need something under your head to get into alignment. And this is the time for the body to integrate and assimilate all that has happened in your practice on every level. So notice your thoughts. Notice your emotional experience. Notice your physical sensations. And notice your energy. Maybe it's very calm, like gentle waves on the ocean. Maybe it's more pulsating, vibrating throughout the body. Notice all of these things without any judgment. Simply observing, collecting data. And know that you are none of these things. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are not your physical sensations. You are not even your energy. That all of these experiences have important information for you, for the true self, for your fullest self, to know who you are, and to have your most joyful experience here in this world. You can stay here for as long as you like, but do stay here for at least 10 full cycles of breath. No ocean breath at this point, just natural breath. When you are ready to come out slowly, wiggle the fingers and the toes, take a deep breath in through the nose, the center of the chest, and exhale through an open mouth. Let out some kind of a sound. Circle the wrists, the ankles. Inhale, arms overhead. Bring the legs together. Get as tall as you can. Exhale, bring the knees in. Give yourself a hug. If you want to bring the forehead up to the knees, you certainly can. But don't rock and roll. Don't move around. Stay still while you do this to protect the spine and the neck. And then let the head back down if you did bring it up. And just rock gently side to side. You can also bring the knees in a little circle, massaging the low back. And just make sure you go in the opposite direction an equal number of times. And then as you're ready, rolling over onto your right side. Pausing here for at least one full cycle of breath. Feel free to go for many more. And then press. I'm just going to scooch around here because people do struggle with this a bit. So resting the face, head, onto the right arm up under the head like a pillow. And then press that left hand down, use your core strength. And then once the right hand can help, coming up like that, looking down as you come up, and then spiraling around and finding your comfortable seat. So I hope that this beginning practice is taking you down the path. You're beginning to feel more confident and comfortable and beginning to understand that it's not about flexibility, it's about strength, awareness, and self-acceptance, self-compassion, honoring your limitations, not overdoing, not overexerting, not getting into a tug of war with yourself. May you be safe, healthy, happy, free from suffering, and live with ease. Namaste.